So with today, we want to discuss with you how you can handle trolls that come onto your social media sites. Now, as a business, the one thing that's just important to realize is eventually there's a good chance you'll probably have someone or maybe a few people actually troll your business on social media. Usually this happens on your social media sites, where they come to your sites to do the trolling. Sometimes you can be trolled without coming to your social sites. Most of the time though, it's not. It's usually on your sites for you and your followers to see. So the things you want to realize about trolls is there's really, you can lump trolls into two categories that come, and these are, now when we say the word troll, we're meaning people who are coming to your social sites to hijack your sites, to hijack the conversation happening on your sites, to make a mess of your reputation online, those kinds of things. So there's really two kinds of trolls that'll come and hit your sites, basically. One is customers who've had a very bad experience with your business. That is a common thing. Now, that's not necessarily, just because they have a bad experience with your business doesn't make someone a troll. But realize that the people who are highly motivated to tell people why they shouldn't do business with you can be someone who becomes a persistent problem for your business. The other category are basically people who just want to make a mess. Whether it's they have an idea of a social responsibility they have, whether they think you are not a good type of business to have around or whatever. They have a more, what they believe is a more altruistic reason to destroy your business. So they might not necessarily have done business with you, but they maybe hate your industry or things like that. So those are typically the two categories that happen when you have people come post a bunch of negative stuff on your social media sites. So sometimes, well, the thing to realize about trolling is it usually isn't random. Okay, most of the time it's not random. I mean, sometimes you'll have people that are like, oh, let's just go post a bunch of stuff on somebody's site and ruin it. But usually it's not. Usually it's not random at all. So if you have questions about how to handle trolls on your social media, let us know. That's what we are talking about today, is how can business owners manage those situations that come up. And it is a situation you've got to be very careful and cautious with when dealing with those. I mean, everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame, and for a lot of people this is a great way for them to get it, to get under your skin and irritate you. So you want to be careful with that. So let's talk first off about the first category of people who will troll your business on social, and that is customers that are unhappy. So this is something that a business can really do something about. One is you want to make sure that you have a good plan in place to help you in taking care of customer service complaints and problems. Very, very important. Make sure you have something in place that will make it easier for you to manage those customer service complaints, to help customers so that they are good and they're happy and positive and work with you. The second thing you want to do, of course, is have a good value product or service for your customers. Do your best you can to improve that experience, to help them out, so it's a positive experience. And we all know that sometimes things happen. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. Sometimes manufacturing doesn't work. You know, the plant breaks down. You lose electricity from a storm or other things that come through, or employee problems. You know, someone's not careful or cautious and they cause a lot of products to be made that weren't very high quality. You know, in the service industry, sometimes your service isn't good. There's all kinds of things that can happen. And so things happen. We all, as consumers, understand that things sometimes happen. Thanks for the hearts, we appreciate that. So the thing to realize is that it's how you handle those problems that really makes you stand out as a business. We've all heard about the people who go to complain and the company basically shuts them down and won't talk to them and won't deal with the complaints. You're just asking for trolls if you do that. We've all heard the stories of the companies, like that rumor around Nordstrom's, that some lady brought her tires in and demanded that she bought them there and wanted a refund, so the manager gave her a refund. Nordstrom's doesn't sell tires, they sell clothes, but she got a refund. So there's things like that really make sure that you're doing a good job of taking care of your customers and working with your customers, because that'll help a lot. That'll go a long ways in preventing trolls from happening on your sites. In the event that something happens, do your best to make it right, to work with that customer, figure it out. Now, there are some customers that there's just no way to please them. There's nothing you can do about it. And sometimes they turn into those trolls that just keep coming back or dealing with your stuff. So just realize sometimes that happens. You run into somebody who there's no pleasing them. There's nothing you can do that'll help them. So when was that, the Nordstrom incident? So I'm not 100% sure on the Nordstrom incident when it happened or if it actually happened. It's kind of an urban legend, but it's written up in lots of different books. You might be able to go online and do some Google searching around that. The story goes, this elderly woman came in. She was upset that she had bought tires that didn't work very good. They wore out early or something. And she could have sworn she bought them at Nordstrom. So she brings her tires into Nordstrom's, talks to the sales associate. The sales associate's like, ma'am, we don't sell tires, we sell clothing. And she's like, no, I know I bought them here, I demand a full refund. And so they go back and forth a little bit. So finally the clerk says, well, let me go get my manager. The manager comes out, says, refund her the money. So they gave her $400 and they took the tires back. And it wasn't until later that the lady was talking with some friends and they're like, well, Nordstrom's doesn't sell tires, they sell clothes. And then the lady realized that she went to the wrong store, but she still got her money back. And so it's kind of an urban legend. I've never seen where it's been verified. If you can find where it's verified, share a link. I'd love to see that. But there's stories like that out there. We've all heard of some of the more recent ones, like Elon Musk. A bunch of people complained after buying cars of a problem, and he looked at him and says, you're right, that is a problem, we're going to solve that. And he fixed it, and everybody just was amazed at it. So that customer service makes a huge, huge difference. So really think about how can you have good customer service? How can you help people feel like you're going above and beyond to work with them? That's going to go a long ways in preventing trolls from hitting your business. This day and age of the social media and all the stuff that's happening is a really big deal, that consumers have a lot more power than they used to. And so you want to look at that. I'll tell you an example I heard of about 2 years ago that's just the opposite of the Nordstrom one. There was and this probably won't surprise anybody, but there was a gentleman in New York that wanted to fly his father out to be with his family for Christmas because they didn't think his father would be around much longer. His father's never flew, he's from the Midwest, he's never been on a plane. So he's like, okay, Dad, just show up at the airport, I've got your tickets for you, it's all squared away, get on the plane, they'll bring you here, I'll come pick you up at the airport, we'll get it all done. So he flies his dad, who's in his early 90s, I think is what it was, late 80s, early 90s, right around there, flies him out to New York. And what does the airline do? Loses his luggage. Just like the great Lou Holt said one day when he went to the airline, he sat down his luggage, he says, I want this luggage to go to Pittsburgh, I want this luggage to go to San Diego, and I want this luggage to go to Florida. And the lady says, man, we can't do that. He says, why? You did it last time. So anyway, sorry, back to the story. This guy, so he's got medications in his luggage, he's got things going on, they lose his luggage. So his son tries to argue with the airline about getting his luggage. Where is it? How soon can we get it? Can we get reimbursed for his lost luggage? What's going on? And it turns into a horrible experience. No one's going to work with him or anything. So this guy, I think this actual incident was about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. So this guy, he goes on, he's so mad at this airline, totally mad at this airline. So he goes onto Facebook and he buys an ad, not on Facebook, but Twitter. He goes to Twitter, buys a Twitter ad that says why you should not do business with this airline, and pays $1,000 to run an ad nationwide against the airline. And man, I tell you, within 24 hours, that airline was calling this gentleman saying, hey, by the way, we're going to comp the whole ticket. We're going to reimburse your father. We're going to take care of it all. Please take down the ad. Because the amount of negative publicity they were getting was just crazy. So that I wouldn't necessarily call what that gentleman did by buying that ad trolling, but some people, the airline might have construed it as that. So the thing to realize about a business is the better you can take care of your customers in the first place, and if there's a problem, take care of them in that situation, the less problems you're going to have on social media. It's just like a car repair company I was working with a couple years ago when we were talking and negotiating about setting up an agreement so we could handle their social media. The owner asked me, he said, Curtis, he said, if I get on social media, am I going to get a whole ton of people bad-mouthing me all over the place? And I said, no, you won't necessarily. Now, it probably won't matter unless you have a huge following. Yeah, nowadays it's a little different. That was kind of the early days of Twitter ads and things. But here, so this owner says, hey, am I going to get hit with a whole bunch of negativity if I get out onto social? And I said, well, that depends. Do you suck at customer service? And he said, no, we don't. We do a great job. I said, then you don't really have much to worry about. If you have a bad customer service, you're going to have problems. So businesses, really, you got to realize that as a business, how you treat your customers can turn them into trolls if you're not careful. So do your best to take care of them. Okay, be careful, because there are, like in the restaurant industry, they've actually ran into customers who get this and they basically blackmail the business. So you want to avoid those people. It's hard to know ahead of time whether you're dealing with that kind of a customer or not. But just realize that the better you do in taking care of your customers, the less problems you're going to have with trolls. So that's that first category of trolls, is dealing with a bad customer. So if you do something wrong and they go to your social sites and they just start blasting you all over social media, the thing you want to do is be very responsive in working with them. Talk with them. Hey, we understand this. We need to get this resolved. What is your email address, or what is, will you come, let's do a direct message, and here's my phone number, or here's my email address, contact me directly so that we can get this taken care of. So the goal is you want to work with them and acknowledge, yes, we've messed up, hey, let's see what we can do to help you with this, and then move that conversation offline. Get them in person, get them on the phone, something like that, so that you can work with them. And if you can work with them and get it resolved, encourage them to go back onto your social and change their posts or update a comment, say, hey, they helped me out with this, it worked out great. Those kinds of things are going to work really, really well. So thanks everybody for following us. We appreciate this. Stick around. We're talking about how you can handle trolls on your social media for businesses. So if you have questions, let us know. We'd love to answer those questions for you. So work with them. Get that conversation offline. You don't want all your dirty laundry aired all over social media. You don't want to have an argument with somebody online. Generally does not work well for your business. So move them offline, get them where you can talk to them over the phone or in person or something, and do your best to resolve those concerns. And then encourage them to go back and leave a positive feedback or update on your social to help people know that's what's going on, okay? One thing that I highly, highly, highly discourage all business owners from doing is deleting the negative comments. Do not delete them. Leave them up. Let people see them. Because if they see that you've had a problem, but you have worked with the customer to resolve it, that actually makes you look better as a business. That gives you more points. So do not delete them as much as you can. Sometimes you have to if they keep posting negativity, and they're the second type of troll basically. But if it's just if a customer with a bad experience, work with them, help people see that you're working with them, and that'll move them off and make them a good customer and no longer trolling your business. So those are good things to do there. The second type of troll are the people who have an axe to grind either with your company or your industry, or sometimes they just want 15 minutes of fame by blacklisting you for no apparent reason at all. So that does happen sometimes. Mostly around your industry or the type of company that you are, you will find that happening. So we had as an example, we had a company that was, they had their own outdoor television show. They went hunting. People won contests to win these trips to go hunting. And so they obviously are pro-gun. That's just their stance. So they had a lot of anti-gun people that were coming to their page to troll them. And the owner, kept deleting the posts off of his social media sites. And I said, no, don't delete them, leave them. Because as a business, it's not your job to regulate your followers' First Amendment rights. Let people have an opportunity to exercise their First Amendment. If people hate hunting or hate shooting, it's okay to allow them to be there. Because the reality is if you've done a good job of building a following of your core customers, they will come to your defense. They will actually come and support you and help you in defending against these people. So that's what's going to happen, and that's exactly what happened to this company. We told him to not delete him, so he left him up, and his followers jumped on and totally annihilated the anti-gun people. In fact, the anti-gun people slowed down how many times they were posting, because when you delete them, they see that they're gone, so they post more often, and they watch your page more often, and they want to build more volume because you keep deleting them. And it just turns into this race where the both of you are managing the page. They're posting, you're deleting, and see which one can go faster. It doesn't work out well. So by leaving those posts there, it allowed them to go leave the post, and they don't have to worry about the page now, but they got blasted with all kinds of comments from the followers, not the business, the followers that held it at bay. They came to the rescue of the business. So your good customers will always rescue you in those situations. So just realize that. Okay, you don't need to delete them. Now, of course, if you are trying to promote a family-friendly site or try to keep it PG, so you want to keep the arguing to a minimum, you may have to regulate and moderate the conversation to keep swearing out if you want to, or make sure there's no death threats being said on there as well. Just regulate it, and it'll go away. It will go away. So that's a good thing. Now, sometimes you'll have recurring trolls. If you have people that are recurring, you do your best to work with them. We had a company who was getting a lot of bad reviews, and we talked with that company and said, are these legitimate people? Do they have a legit reason to be mad at you? And the company's like, no, these people are not on our customer list. So we went back to them and started saying, hey, thanks for we appreciate you leaving feedback, but are you sure you left this on the right page? Because we do not have you in our records as being a customer of ours. Maybe you were looking for a different business like ours. And that was the response. So we left them there, and then we responded to them. And what happens with that basically is when people come to the page, they see these negative reviews, they read them, and then they see the response and realize, oh, this is a bogus review. This is a bogus negative review. They got trolled. And now you discredit that, and you go through and look at the other reviews that are legit, and then you work with them. So you don't have to argue with trolls. So I highly recommend not arguing with people that are trolling you on social. What's that bakery down in Arizona that did that? It's the last episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Amy's Bakery or something like that. They did that. They argued with their followers. Not good. Not good. It's going to blow up in your face. So if you get trolled, just realize that you want to deflect. They're going to point stuff at you. They're going to direct attacks at you personally or right to your business. Just deflect them, okay? Do not try to, the first knee-jerk reaction is, oh, you're such a jerk, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. Do not engage them, okay? They are baiting you by putting some of the comments out there that they're doing. The purpose of the goal of that troll is to get you into an argument, get you mad and ruffle your feathers up so that you get so upset that you say something that makes you look stupid, and then they blow it all out of proportion. So the less you directly interact with the things that they're talking about, the better. So you want to deflect the stuff off and do your best to show like you're trying to work with them. Don't argue with them. It's not good. It never is good. Just pull back and be like, hey, look, you're entitled to your own opinions, but we disagree on those things, and leave them alone. You don't need to keep engaging with them. The more you engage with them, the longer they're going to stick around, and the bigger the problem it's going to be. So sometimes you can usually ignore the first, if it's a troll that somebody's just trying to hit you for their 15 minutes of fame, sometimes you can just ignore them and they'll go away, because they're looking for you to they want to make you fight. They want to make you get into an argument so they can trip you up. They can take screenshots of your words and comments and blast it all over the place. So they're baiting you into this argument with them. Don't do it. Just realize that they're baiting you. Deflect it. Stay out of that light. If they have a legitimate problem, let's just tell them, guys, here's my phone number, here's my email, call me if you have a legit problem, would love to help you out with that. And if they don't have a legit problem, they're obviously not going to call you. That's not what they want. They want you to get in an argument. So do not argue back. Okay, do not argue back with them. Talk with them. Hey, if you've got a complaint, please come talk to us. We'd love to help you answer that. Do not try to argue back. Okay, now if you as a business, again, if you as a business have done something that has upset other people, you've got to realize that you may have some egg on your face and you've got to take care of that. Some industries have more problems with that than others because of just past use. You know, if you're the social media guy of United Airlines, you're going to have a little bit of problems you're walking into to deal with because of all the problems they've had with that guy that they tried to kick off the plane and things. So sometimes you already have a mess you're walking into, and there's not much you can do about it. But do your best to continue to move forward in a positive way. So we do not recommend deleting the trolls. If they're just the 15 minutes of fame people, they're not real customers. It's just baloney stuff. Do not get pulled into the argument with them. Make sure that you can maintain your integrity as a business, and eventually it goes away. Okay, you take the higher road. Always take the higher road when dealing with them. They want you to take the low road because they want to turn it to a mudslinging opportunity. Do not engage with that. Take the higher road, be the more mature part of the argument, and do not deal directly with the arguments that they're making. Tell them if they've got a problem, we'd love to help you solve that. Come talk to us in person and we'll work with you privately to make sure that gets resolved. If not, then you can move on. Now, there are some times where people will continue to come back. We had a client where they had people continually coming back to post, and then we found out that they had friends. They started getting their family and friends to come back and put a whole bunch of negativity out there. And we warned them, hey guys, you know, if you're a customer and have a legit concern, please come in. If you're not a customer, then this is not right for you to be posting this negativity. And we warned them, and then they kept posting, so we blocked them and deleted their comments off. Sometimes it's kind of a last resort, and that's what you end up with. Sometimes that's just how it works. So if you have any other questions about dealing with trolls on social media, let us know. Use our hashtag SMRTTV if you'd like to ask us questions, and we'll do our best to find those and answer those.